am very grateful for you doing this for me and feel very humbled by it. And as I said in the video, my mother and my father are such an example. And the thing I got most out of this film for me was that you see that I am a product of my parents. And I wore purple today because that's my mother's favorite color. And so I got my purple out of the closet so that I could portray Mom because she was so precious. And one of the nicest things my kids can say to me is, my mother's name was Gladys, my father's name was Adrian, but they will say, if I do something that is kind or loving to somebody else, they'll say, yes, Gladys. Or if I say, tell them to behave in a certain way, it's always, yes, Gladys. And there's nothing they can say to me that is more rewarding than to call me Gladys. Because if I can be any part of my mother and father, and that's who I am, who you see in me is not me, it's my parents and the way they raised me in the parsonage. I was so blessed to have them as parents. And then from there, so blessed to have all of you as my friends. Oh, you are such an influence on me, and I'm so grateful to be in this community and every community I've lived in. I've been blessed to, of course, you know, Methodist ministers, they went from church to church to church. Every 5 or 6 years, it was automatic. We moved. And but I found it to be a blessing because I met so many people, and so many people that had such an influence on my life. And I can't thank Benita and Jesse enough for seeing my parents in me and realizing how special they are to have raised 3 children in such a beautiful way. One of my favorite stories is that my brother died at the age of 39 of a brain tumor. And my father preached his sermon. And we said, Dad, you can't do that. This is your son. And he says, oh, yes, I can. I've been telling people for 50 years how to accept death. And it's time to practice what I preach. And that's the whole story, folks. You got to practice what you preach. Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming.